Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time no see. Also sorry if I'm like talking kind of quieter. I'm filming upstairs and it's late and I don't want to like wake up my family around me. It's also why I'm in my pajamas right now. So I'm essentially, I think, just going to be kind of restructuring my favorites videos. I'm still going to do favorites, but I'm also going to then include some kind of disappointing products. I'm going to talk about like random stuff that happened during the month, anything I want to like update you guys on, anything like that. So I think that's just what I'm gonna be doing from now on. Let me know if you like this format or if you really don't like it, or if there's anything else you would like to see during a kind of monthly recap video. Any ideas you have, just leave them in the comments below. Would love to hear that. I think I'm still gonna start with my favorites. So I don't have an absolute ton of favorites this month. I think my big one that stands out for me though is a brush, and this is the Sephora Pro Flawless Airbrush, and it's the number 56, and it's a kind of flat but roundish foundation brush. It's not a normal shape for a foundation brush. It's definitely dense, but it's very soft and very flexible. I actually have two because this is the brush that you get when you get to be a VIB Rouge. So this is your little free gift when you get to Rouge status. So I have this mini red-handled one that's just for Rouge members, and then the actual like big one. This is pretty much all I've been using to apply my foundation this month. It's just really nice. I kind of stipple it on like that, and then I go in and just kind of buff and swirl. That's kind of the motion that I use with this brush, and it just gives a really nice full coverage. It's not streaky. I don't know why I didn't get into this brush sooner because I've had this for years, but I really have come to appreciate it this past month, and I would 100% highly recommend it. And if you have it, like if you have this perk brush and you were kind of like, it's a free brush, don't care about it, not going to use it, definitely give it a try because I really like it. I use it to blend out concealer too, so if I'm just blending stuff out under the eyes or highlighting my like nose and forehead kind of a deal, it's great for blending that out too. And I definitely want to try a few more of the Sephora Pro Airbrush face brushes because they have a few different ones in this line, and this brush has made me want to try more. So if you are ever thinking about this and just not sure if you would like it, I love it. So that is probably my most notable like new favorite for this past month. This next one I've mentioned in probably a couple favorites videos at this point in time. This is the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This has been my go-to foundation because it's really thin, but it's decently full coverage. It's a little luminous, a little dewy, which I've been wanting in foundation this past month because my skin has been super dry. The weather has been like awful and cold and windy and gross, and I'm also this past month started some prescription acne creams on my face, and they are definitely working. I see a difference in my skin, but they're really drying. So this has been nicer because it is a little more dewy versus some of my really matte foundations, but it still has good coverage and decent lasting power. I very much like it. I use the shade Light 3 Gobi, but I think I can use Light 2 as well depending on just what concealer I use and stuff like that. It's a super thin formula. I use about 3 pumps on my face, and that's like the size of one pump. It pumps really tiny, but it means that you don't use too much foundation, which is really nice because this is a bit of a pricier one. And I use it with this foundation brush, and I essentially dot once in, and that'll be enough for like one cheek. And I just stipple and blend, and it's just a really nice foundation. And with this brush, I think I like it even more than with like a beauty blender or something like that. I think this brush applies it the best out of all of the foundation brushes I have. And now I'm just awkwardly blending this on my hand because it's distracting. So my next favorite is a skincare one, and I've had this for a while, but I've really only started using it consistently, like every morning, every night, for this past month. And this is the Derma Therapeutic Scar Gel, and it's literally just a clear gel, like you can't even see it in the thing. I've used about half the jar-ish. And I got this on the recommendation of Roxette Avrisa on YouTube. I will leave her channel linked down below if you don't know who she is. She is awesome. And essentially, it's a dark spot lightener. It's a drugstore price point, which I love because dark spot lighteners can be really, really expensive if you go into a place like Sephora. They're like 50, 60, 80 kind of dollar price range. This, I believe, was $15, $14.99, something around there. I got mine at Wegmans. I think you can get them at like Target. You might even be able to get them at Ulta. This is great. It essentially, I put it on every morning and every night, and it hasn't totally gotten rid of old scars that I have, but I have constant breakouts. My skin is never not broken out at this point in time, and I think I would have a lot more scars if I wasn't applying this twice a day. So I think it's really working to prevent getting new acne scars and new acne spots after the actual spot has gone away. It's not leaving like a scar or a dark spot underneath it, and I think it's pretty much because of this. So thank you so much, Roxette, for this recommendation. It has been wonderful, and I will 100% be repurchasing it when I run out. My next skincare favorite is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream. This is a really, really nice white jelly cream moisturizer. It's definitely creamier than the Tatcha water gel. That one is really, really watery and gel-like. This one is more intensive. It is for extra dry skin, and it has hyaluronic acid in it. Like I said, my skin has been super dry because of the acne medications I've been using, and this has been so, so nice. It's really gentle but really moisturizing at the same time, and it just feels really, really nice putting it on. It doesn't leave you feeling sticky, and I think it wears well under makeup, so this has definitely been my go-to moisturizer for all of March. My last favorite is something I don't talk about too often, which is a fragrance. And this is the Taka fragrance in Giulietta. It is such a pretty bottle. It's like this giant glass bulb, and the perfume itself is kind of like a light green color, and it's got this beautiful kind of bronze, brassy, embossed lid. It's really, really weighty. This whole like bottom section of it is solid glass, so it feels really like heavy and luxurious in your hands, and it smells so, so nice. It's definitely floral, but it's got some kind of sweeter, fruity notes. It's sweeter than a lot of the perfumes that I own. Normally I go for kind of more spicy, musky type things, but this one is just so pretty and spring-like. And I got it last summer, and I think that's kind of why it reminds me of like spring and summer and nicer weather. I would 100% recommend going into a Sephora and smelling some of the Taka scents because they have a lot of really, really nice ones. I also really like, I believe Cleopatra is what it's called, and it's a kind of more musky floral type scent, that one. But this one is just really sweet, really fresh, and totally different to any other scent I own, but I absolutely love it. Next thing I want to mention are actually both mascaras, but these are ones that I do not love. These were disappointing to me, which was very sad because they both, like, I heard really, really great reviews of both of them, which is why I got them, and I really did not like them for the exact same reason. One of them is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara. This is actually a sample size one of it. And then the other is the Maybelline Total Temptation mascara. I really like how both of these make my lashes look, but they both flake so badly on me. I don't know what it is. I haven't heard anybody else complaining about this, but throughout the day, whenever I wear either of these, I will see little black flecks just falling down my face like black dandruff. It's really, really not appealing at all. And I don't know what it is. I've tried using it with different concealers. Like, I don't know if the concealer or the powder around my eyes is making it weird, but I just don't understand why it flakes on me so badly, because I've never heard anybody else complaining about these flaking. And I love how they make my lashes look. They both have a really nice, like, thick natural bristle brush. This Maybelline one smells like coconut, which is actually really cool. I love the brush on the Marc Jacob ones. It's this big kind of hourglass type brush, natural bristle. It makes your lashes super black, super long, super thick. And I love how they both look, but they both flake, and it's not attractive at all. So those were both really disappointing for me. And I'd be curious to know if any of you have had the same problem with either of these mascaras, because I've never heard anybody complain about either one of them. So I don't know if I'm just like a strange anomaly, or somehow I got a bad mascara for both of them or something. But I was sad that these did not work out for me, because I love how they make my lashes look, but I cannot stand flaking mascaras. And I have a lot of mascaras that I like how they make my lashes look and they don't flake on me. So just going to move on with my life and stop using these. Other thing that I wanted to start talking about in my monthly recaps, because I really like when some of the other people I follow do this, is books, because I love reading, and now I've actually gotten out of college and I am not a student full-time who's doing school reading full-time. I actually have time to read for fun. So since I've gotten out of school, I have been going through lots of books. I'm currently in the middle of 2, and they're actually both on Audible. This is a wonderful app if you've never heard of it. It's through Amazon. You can listen to audiobooks, and it's like a monthly membership thing where I think it's $14.99 a month, and you get 1 book credit, and you can use it for any book on the website, which is really nice because some of the books are like $30, $40, $50 depending on what it is, which is like a normal price for an audiobook. So the fact that you're only paying $14.99 and then you can get whatever you want on the website is really cool. And you can get memberships that give you like several credits a month or something like that. I just have the 1 credit a month one. And the one I have been listening to the most during March has been War and Peace. I'm only in the first half of it. It's actually in 2 parts on Audible, or they have a few different versions of it. The one with the narrator that I like is in Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're both 30-hour segments because it's a very long book. But it's a really good book. Like, it's one of those things that everyone's like, oh, it's a classic, you should always read it, blah, blah, blah. And I never knew what it was about. And now that I'm reading it, it's really just like Jane Austen times 10, because it's so much more detailed and so much longer. But that's very much the style and the sense that it gets. It's set in the same sort of time period. It's the same sort of upper class society type of scope of characters and stuff like that. It's just like so long, but it's really, really good. And if you like Jane Austen and you like that sort of 19th century culture, I would really, really recommend checking it out, because it was one of those things that I was like, that doesn't sound like a book that I would enjoy, but I actually really, really like it. So I'm kind of working my way through War and Peace. And then the other one that I don't have on my phone, I have it on my Audible on my computer, is, what's it called? Voyager, which is the 3rd book in the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. And I've been working my way through this pretty slowly. They're very long books. Again, they're not as long as War and Peace, but I believe the 3rd book is somewhere in the 900-page region. And I loved the 1st book. Was okay with the 2nd book. It wasn't great, but it was fine. I think, because I was watching the TV show along with it, I think I preferred the TV interpretation of the 2nd book than the actual book version of the 2nd book, which is not very usual for me. Usually I prefer the book because there's just more detail and more depth to everything. But I liked the version and the kind of viewpoint that the TV took with it versus the 2nd book. But then the 3rd book has kind of gone off on a different kind of storyline, and I don't want to spoil anything because if you have no idea what it's about, it doesn't make a ton of sense, and it would be very easy to spoil a lot of things talking about the third book, but the way the storyline goes, she focuses in bigger chunks on one particular character, and that is the character I prefer. So now the story is getting much more in-depth in that direction and spending a lot more time focusing on that aspect of it, and I've really been enjoying it so far. So I'm about a third of the way through Voyager right now, and I have that audiobook as well. I don't love the woman who narrates it because her Scottish accent is atrocious. It's really, really poor. But it's just such a long book that I find it a lot easier to make time to listen to it than I do to make time to read it. So it's kind of give or take there. A lot of things on Audible I really do like the narrators of, and that's actually the really nice thing is if you don't like a narrator after you buy a book, you can return it, which I think is so nice of Audible to do because a lot of monthly subscription type things aren't returnable products, but you can return the book and get the credit back and use it for something else if you don't like the book or you don't like the narrator or something like that. So that's my other kind of aspect that I wanted to start throwing into my monthly recaps. Depending on what happens in any given particular month, I might throw something else in there. But for now, that is going to be the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have anything else you'd like me to go through in monthly recaps, like I know some people do music, some people do TV shows, that kind of stuff, fashion pieces. If that's something you're interested in knowing about from me, let me know in the comments and I would be happy to throw them in April's for sure. Other than that, thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in my next one. Bye everybody!